If you watch my videos, you know I've done end-of-the-war guns from the Walther factory. In fact, I did a whole video, if you want to look it up, about the factory when the GIs came in April of 1945. But today, I'm going to talk about something I know you've never seen before. You're going to want to check this out. Okay, these are all guns that were in the factory at the end of the war when the GIs came in. Again, April, I think it was about the 6th of 1945. Now, these look like the ones you want to talk about, but the real story is over here. You're going to want to check this out. I can't believe it myself. I did a video about this once before. Now, it is mismatched. You can see the slide number and the frame. All of these guns, by the way, would be mismatched because they were picked up at the factory. When the GIs came in, there were parts everywhere. The GIs wanted souvenirs, so they put them together, or they paid the Polish workers to put them together. Probably both happened. But I showed this gun before because this slide, I don't know what this is about. It could be a cutaway to show how the inner workings were, but they never finished it. Nonetheless, this frame, somebody grabbed this slide and brought this gun home like this. And I've asked before, what do you think it is? Other than a GI bring back, what do you think it is? But then somebody, one of our viewers, notified me that on Gunbroker, this gun was for sale. You'll notice there's no slide legend, which usually indicates end of the war. Also, some phosphated part indicates end of the war. Mismatched, which definitely indicates end of the war. And you can see serial number here and serial number here. But what he said is this slide matches this frame. So check this out. Here it is, 1945. These are in the Walther factory. They are not put together. There is the serial number ending in 295P. And then this slide, 295P. AC is the code for the factory. So these were probably never put together, came home in parts. 80 years later, why don't we put them together? So here we go. I pulled off both slides. Now I'm doing this live on camera. Because again, these have never been together. You know, it was like they always were meant to be together. Star-crossed lovers never really got together. Here they go. The magazine is in. By the way, phosphated magazine, W, which means unhardened or soft. It's soft metal. It was never hardened, which is only done in 1945. Correct magazine and correct wooden grips. Pop it back together. Works great. Fires in double action. Look at that. Now, there it is, all matching. After 80 years of being separated, they're put together. Now, my question is, how do I sell this? Because part of the history is they didn't come together. They came home to the United States, brought back by GIs. Legacy Collectibles put them together. Let me know in the comments, what do you think I should do? I don't want to destroy the history. Should I put it back the way they came home from the war? What I'm leaning toward is only agreeing to sell these together, and then whoever buys them can choose to display them any way they want. But they'll always have this video to prove that these were put together after many years, 80 years of being apart. Just goes to show you these are completely interchangeable and work. Okay, if it was near Christmas, I would say that's a Christmas miracle, but it is a miracle those are together. And like I said, you can comment as to what you think I should do with these two, but I'm kind of leaning towards selling them together, let the new owner decide what they want to do. Now, these last three are just part of the history of the Walther factory at the end. Here's another mismatched gun because the frame is 333, starts off with 333. And the slide is not numbered, and it should be in that serial range. So this slide was in the factory, You can tell it's a factory slide. This is blued, this is nickeled, or maybe even chromed. But here's what's interesting about it. It does have the slide, so the slide was from earlier. The red dot was never put on it, and now notice it has some engraved parts. So this had to have been in the factory at the end of the war, and they put it together with parts. You can see the safety lever is engraved. The trigger guard and the trigger are engraved. Look at that. And yet none of the rest of the gun is engraved. So they took a frame, they found this, they found this, they put them together. Even the magazine, that's phosphated with a W, and this is nickeled or chromed. It kind of looks like chrome to me. But that was in the factory at the end of the war, and in fact, we have a capture certificate. You can see it was Eugene Heil. He was a first lieutenant. He picked this up in the factory. His captain was Paul Smith. It's hardly readable, but right here you can see there's the pistol number. And he also brought home a telescope with a serial number. And then there's a little bit of information, tells us he was from Wyoming. So he took this back to Wyoming and rustled some cattle with it, I think. I just made that up. But there it is, a gun that was brought home at the end of the war. Also, by the way, one of the ways we know it was never issued, there's no eagle end proofs here or here. None of these guns have eagle end proofs because they were never issued, all in the factory. Here's the final two, the twins. Now, I've shown you these before. And so the first thing you notice is how beautifully they are engraved. And this is like a grapevine pattern. And this is a floral pattern. So we see floral, grapevine pattern, no proof marks on either gun. The serial numbers tell us they're from 1944. They're in the factory waiting to be presented. And how do I know they were waiting to be presented? Because there was no presentee. Here you can see it's fully engraved except here and here. Again, engraved, engraved, not engraved here and here, because they were waiting for somebody to come, and actually it was actually Himmler at the end of the war, Goebbels, and even Goering were giving out awards toward the end of the year in order to boost morale. In fact, we've done a video about the snipers, 100 kills, Luftwaffe aces, 100 shootdowns. They were given presentation pistols. These were intended to be presented to somebody and never were at the end of the war. Look at the floral pattern here and the grapevine pattern here, just absolutely beautiful. You can see the front straps. Now here's why we call them the twins. Taken from the factory, ends in 129K, 130K. So these are consecutive numbered, never issued, in the factory at the end of the war, waiting to be presented, but instead they're presented here on our YouTube video channel. Hey, thanks for watching. I've got some really cool stuff here today. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and let me know what you think I should do with these.